time for the Peter Chill Morning News on this Thursday morning, March 10th, 2016. Go! Go! Good morning to you all on this lovely Thursday morning, March 10th, 2016. Here are your news and eyes. And our top story at 8 o'clock in the morning time on this Thursday morning is... The Democrats saved the most raucous debate for what could be the last for 2 hours. Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont traded Trump for Texas and Florida, a crucial background state that votes next week over immigration policy. Police were searching early Thursday for at least 2 gunmen who opened fire during a backyard party in suburban Pittsburgh, killed 5 people and wounded at least 3 others. That 23-question form looks like the Senator job application saved a black ISIS logo in the top right corner of thousands of documents apparently leaked from inside ISIS page. A detailed picture of the terror group's personnel, including a 20-year-old. Blacktown, Florida. Sheriff's investigators in North Florida were trying to determine how a 4-year-old boy got his hands on the gun he used to shoot his mother as he drove a pickup truck. The good news about Thursday night's debate in Miami is that it begins a half hour earlier than the most of our weeknight debates that have started this election season. Washington. Donald Trump said Wednesday that he thinks that Islam aims to draw a little distinction between the religion and radical Islam terrorism. 9th in Burma, a former schoolmate of Aung San Suu Kyi was nominated as the presidential candidate in Burma's parliament on Thursday, ended weeks of speculation that the revered pro-democracy leader herself would take the role. Brussels, nearly 500,000 irregular immigrants arrived in Greece in the last 3 months of 2015. Most of them moved north at the Balkans, data from the EU border HC Frontex showed on Thursday. Moscow, a Ukrainian pilot on trial on which Russia has agreed to take water but will continue a hunger strike followed an appeal by Ukraine's president. Johannesburg, a judge in South Africa, has found a woman guilty of kidnapping a baby nearly 2 decades ago and raising it as her own. Glenn Switzerland ran her deaths by pushing a climb for the 6th consecutive year in Asia to the Glenn Switzerland ran her deaths by pushing climb for the 6th consecutive year in Africa due to rising demands for the Horn and Asia. Immigrant rights advocates are encouraging families to get ready for the possible implementation of 2 programs that could go into effect later this year. The dean of UC Berkeley's lawsuit went on to leave of absence on Wednesday after his executive assistant sued him over allegations of sexual harassment for the university for interview not doing enough to prevent it. Sanford, Florida, a substitute teacher in Florida Elementary School was arrested on Tuesday on allegations of being intoxicated while she taught children in the classroom. Michigan Governor Rick Snyder has requested $1.2 million to pay for his defense attorneys and lawsuits against the state government for mishandling the failure to prevent the Flint water crisis. In Simi Valley, California, the body of Nate Reagan was brought to the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California, to the delight and repose before a funeral. Washington, wonderful pistachios recalled some packages of nuts after at least 11 people in the United States were sickened by salmonella. In Richmond, Virginia, lawmakers passed a bill allowing the production and use of marijuana oils for patients with epilepsy. The bill passes unanimously. Government bonds rose. The euro slid and equities fluctuated as investors went in to see if European Central Bank President Mario Draghi will satisfy heightened speculation in favor of stimulus measures. Discount retail Dollar General Corporation reported higher than expected growth in quarterly sales at Spanish stores and demand increased for items such as candy and snacks, perishables, tobacco, and food. United confirms 10 arrests into the sub 77s. Physicians and lawyers lead the list of those who received the biggest paychecks in the U.S. In Tokyo stock came back left after a 4-day slide beaten by a residual process. A soft yen and the possibility of a new stimulus by the ECB. Okay, take a look at the stock market report here at 8:05. Look at that stocks. The Dow up 36.26%, 17,036. S&P 500, 1989.26, and Nasdaq 4,674.38. In local news, Albert tractor trailer became went under railroad bridge in downtown Thursday morning, causing better damage to the structure. The truck was boarded second to the bridge at South Main and Cambridge Street at about 7:15 a.m. Prompted police to shut down the intersection during the busy morning commute. The intersection is adjacent to Albert train station in Park Canal. Not found by town officials and citizens are waited on Facebook post from a member of Representative Town Meeting and over town boards a joke about violence toward Muslims that compared Michelle Obama to an ape. Plainville, Stephen Christie Soul Company added 5 employees and $500,000 on the upcoming contracts last year. It took a while, but the legislature has come up with a compromise bill aimed at combating opiate overdoses that are killing an average of 4 people a day in Massachusetts. Boston federal investigators say the Boston Fire Department claimed some responsibility for the deaths of 2 firefighters who died in battle in a blaze in the brownstone 2 years ago. The report by the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health said lack of training to fight with fires that have staffing and failure the SS risk contributed to the deaths of Lieutenant Ed Walsh and firefighter Michael Kennedy in March 2014 as the federal report obtained by the Boston Globe Marathon has series of factors that led to the deadly blaze, including uncontrolled ventilation, lack of fire hydrants, and a demonstrated absence of a sprinkler system. A Springfield man has pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter in 2012 shooting death of a man during a robbery. True to the purpose of big NASA spacecraft that began orbiting Mars a decade ago to this week has dealt with huge advances in the knowledge about red planet. Modern humans have significantly small amounts of achieved and our hominid ancestors when evolutionary forces were at play. Sky gazers from around the U.S. caught a flight from Alaska on Wi-Fi prime viewing a total solar eclipse and followed over parts of Indonesia, India, and Pacific Oceans. London, Stephen Hawking has joined more than 150 top scientists in the call for the Britain estate and the European Union say that the leap would be a disaster to UK science and universities. Transplanted a mismatched kidney from a living donor may lower the risk of death more than not doing a transplant at all, according to a new study that could open the door to more operations. Michael Pascal that people should eat food not too much, mostly plants, so after quite less off fault. As once again, researchers have demonstrated that Americans should tend to eat food too much, mostly things that are no longer. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil officials said that Wednesday that they have time to the guidelines used to determine when babies have been born with abnormally small heads, a step taken in the part to reduce the number of false positives of macular assembly. The FDA's proposed settlement Tuesday with American Corporation PLC is not at all oxy-free on 2/3 truthful but not misleading off-label promotion of drugs and medical devices, but it could be leading to more litigation about the AI approach. Peter Children's time is now 8:09 and it's time now for sports report. Last night, the Boston Celtics defeat the Memphis Grizzlies 160-96. Tonight, the Boston Bruins meet at the Garden to take out the Carolina Hurricanes. Game time 7 o'clock. Because of the glaring need in the roster, the lack of spire, to the previous Governor's Texas owner, Bob McNair, appeared to Texas where it said that drop their next quarterback in the future. Indian Wells California, Shaka Maria Shepard. Failed drug test has cast a spotlight and attention to detail of her. Fellow players applied the medications and supplements that most need to take a little possible. Las Vegas, South California, boosted the center stimulate tournament resume and accomplished something they did not done since 90.2. Not a bad way to kick off the Pac-12 tournament. And Boston Celtics for Senator Jared Sullivan returning game in action Wednesday night just 48 hours after Saturday night at hospital because of a skin infection. Peter Childers, I'm 8-10 on this. Thursday morning, it is time now for Trevor Report. Let's study up down to Milan, where let's study up down Milan, where 95 on the south bad side, it did so from protect all the way to downtown Providence. 95 on the north bad side, it did so from Route 37 all the way out to downtown Providence. 195 on the west bad side, it did so from Route 114 all the way out to Route 95 downtown Providence. 146 on the south bad side, it so from Route 15 all the way to Route 95. Route 6 on the east bad side, so from Route 120 to the 610 connector. James Side Bridge, looking good. Newport to the west bad side, a little slow. At Attleboro, the latest on the bridge closer due to the truck down in Attleboro on South Main Street and Cape Bridge Street. Expect some delays around Route 152 in Attleboro. It is slow. 123 is slow between 2nd and 1st Streets. So, if you're in that area, expect some detours and delays. Added Cape Route 6 at the Sagamore to all lanes is looking good. 20 is looking good for Board of Falmouth. Except 20 at the southbound side. A little slow after the board rotary. All the way after the 34 space. 24 on the northbound side. A little slow before Route 44 in Raynham. 95 at the intersection Route 128 in the Canton. It's a little slow. 128 on the southbound side. It is slow from 24 in Canton all the way to Braintree Split. 24 on the northbound side. So from 106 in West Bridgewater to Route 123 in Brockton. Route 3 on the northbound side. It is slow from 33 Hickman all the way to the Braintree Split. 128 on the northbound side, it did so from 135 and Denham all the way at the Route 20 in Waltham. 485 on the northbound side, so from 85 in Hawkins to 485 in Massbank and Westburg. Massbank on the eastbound side, it is slow from Route 128 in Weston all the way out to the Austin Mountain Tolls. Massbank on the westbound side, it is slow from the Logan Airport all the way out to the South Boston. 93 on the southbound side, it is slow from Route 125 and off Andover all the way out to the Zakin Bridge. Route 1 on the southbound side, it is slow from Route 16 in Revere all the way out to Route 93. 93 in both ends of downtown Boston is looking good, and Southeast Expressway on the northbound side is so from the Braintree Split all the way out to Mass Ave. And Dorchester, Southeast Expressway on the southbound side is so from the Dorchester stretch. 93 on the northbound side, so from Stono all the way out to Route 120 and in Redden 120 on the southbound side is so from Linfield all the way out to Route 3 in Woburn, and then it breaks again from Route 3 in Belton all the way to Route 2 in Lexington to an accident on Route 2 on the westbound side around Route 128. Route 2 on the westbound side, it is over the Lexington Church before Route 128. Route 60 to the eastbound side, it is over from Route 60 all the way out to the Freshwater Parkway at Cambridge. Route 3 on the southbound side, so from 485 all the way to Billerica, and then 485 on the northbound side, a little slow around the westward stretch, and then 485 on the southbound side, it is so from Lawrence all the way out to Route 93. 290 in the eastbound side, a little slow from Route 146 all the way to Route 9 in Worcester. 91 in the southbound side, so from 291 in Springfield all the way out to Agawam. Route 57 in the eastbound side, it is slow from Agawam switch to Route 91. 291 in the southbound side, a little slow out right at the Massback on the westbound side, so before 291 in Springfield. Massback on the eastbound side, a little slow for the Palmer stretch. Down in Connecticut, 91 in the southbound side is slow from Windsor all the way out to downtown Hartford. 91 in the northbound side, so from Rock Hill all the way to downtown Hartford. I-840 to the eastbound side, so from Farmington all the way to downtown Hartford. I-840 to the westbound side, so for the Hartford stretch. 91 on the northbound side, and then so for the Rocky Hill stretch. Route 9 on the northbound side, a little slow to Middleburg, down to Middletown. 95 on the northbound side, a little slow to the West Haven stretch. Wilbur Cross Parkway to the westbound side, so between Bridgeport and Stamford. 95 on the southbound side, so from Fairfield all the way out to Greenwich. 95 on the northbound side, a little slow to the Stamford stretch. Highways and byways in New York City are slow go. 890 on the westbound side, it is slow around the New York Thruway. I-87 on the southbound side, accident after Route 146 in Rexford, so expect some delays. And the freeway in the eastbound side, a little slow around I-87 in Albany. I-89 on the southbound side, here it is slow from Colchester all the way out to Burlington. In Vermont, up in New Hampshire, it is looking good in Maine. The main travel is looking from New York to Augusta via Paulton. 295 looking from Port Augusta. And 95 looking from Augusta to Holton via Bangor. And 393 on the westbound side, a little slow around Route 93 in Concord, New Hampshire. Okay, look at that MBTA alerts at 8:15. Alright, let's look at some MBTA alerts. There we go. Okay, take a look at the MBTA alerts. Subway system, it's looking good on the commuter rail. Looking good, and on the ferries, they are looking good. Peter Cheddle-Dusab is now 8:17 on this Thursday morning. It is time now for a weather report and looking at the latest radar. Looking at radar, and it shows some lines of rain showers around west of Woonsocket and stretching on the southern Worcester County around Blackstone. Patchy rain showers from Sharon all the way up down to Foxborough around Mansfield around Norton. And some rain showers northwest of Fall River, and a line of rain showers from Middleborough stretching all the way down to Plymouth, stretching around the outer Cape and middle Cape Downs there. Patchy rain showers from Lynn stretching out to sea. Line of rain showers from Beverly out into Gloucester. And a line of the rain showers south of North Adamson stretching in east of Albany. And a line of rain showers stretching from New Hampshire coast stretching out to sea. Wall to the west of us, a line of rain showers from Silver Springs stretching down from Silver Springs all the way down in western Missouri, down for Buffalo, and stretching in on it. Western Pennsylvania from Erie down to Pittsburgh. Okay, 7-day forecast. It goes like this. Barton. Day, rain likely, mainly after 2 p.m. Park Trafalgar between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Otherwise, skies are about 74 degrees. Calm wind becoming southwest about 6 miles in the afternoon. Chesapeake 70%. New percentage between the 7/4 inch possible. For tonight, rain mainly before 4 a.m. Pittsburgh after 9 p.m. Laura 47 degrees. The line available. Wind becoming the north end 5 to 10 miles after midnight. Chesapeake 90%. New percentage between the 7/4 inch possible. But Friday, most skies got mid morning. The gradual clear skies have a 58 degrees. The northwest about 6 to 8 miles an hour. Gust side 21 miles an hour. Friday night, clear skies about 31 degrees. That's northwest about 5 miles per hour. Comedy DD 7 days. Steady the most clear skies have at 61 low at 44 degrees. And southwest about 6 to 50 miles gust side 25 miles an hour. For Sunday, most clouds come at 62 about 39 degrees. Monday, rain likely after 4 p.m. and before 10 p.m. Most clouds have about 50 about 40 degrees. Chest rates at 6%. Tuesday, chest rate. Most clouds have about 57 about 41 degrees. Chest rates at 35%. And for Wednesday, put sun skies about 60 degrees. Currently, not in overcast of 57 degrees. Humidity 64%. And that is going to be it for the Period Channel Morning News on this Thursday morning, March 10th, 2069. Please have a good morning and good positive attitude. I'll see you all. Have a good day.